that countries with a secular constitution and people with secular values are doing better socially, scientifically, and in terms of leading a satisfactory and peaceful life. The Human Development Index. If you're really observant, you'll see that all the secular nations end up in the top part. The ambiguous nations after that, and the Islamic countries later on muddled up. But none of those countries, Islamic or ambiguous, actually beat the secular nations. The peace index, the same pattern repeats. Ambiguous nation in the bottom, Islamic countries muddled up over there. None of them actually beating the secular countries. If you're really observant again, you'll see the pattern repeats. Again, it's saddening to think these countries don't place such little importance on research. And to top it all off, there's a clear relationship between how successful a country is and the religiousness or the lack of that country.
He says that secular countries are doing better than religious countries. Well, it depends what you define as secular. So if you want to say liberal democracy, then how do you account for China, which is now surpassing, it's going to be surpassing the biggest, most powerful liberal democracy in the world, in its industry, and its wealth, and so on and so forth. In the next 20 years, they will be top of the GDP. It is predicted. Either Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, they always go back to these countries, Saudi Arabia or Pakistan or Kuwait. There's only one model for an Islamic state, and it's called a caliphate. There is no other system. The caliphate was destroyed in 924 by secular factions in Turkey. So we're going to look at what the Sharia says and what the Islamic models of state says, not what some modernist post-secular constructions such as Saudi Arabia and Pakistan have to say, and they are mostly secular with only a few token Islamic laws. The Scandinavian argument, which is basically Sweden is in one part, Sweden and Norway, these are some great states, aren't they? Well, what he doesn't seem to mention is they're also highly xenophobic, and they have a lot of problem with far-right activities. Far-right party takes 16.3% of the vote. Discrimination against Muslims and immigrants is very high. Just read Amnesty International's discourse on discrimination against Muslims in Europe. Norway and Sweden rank quite high. Sweden and Norway, they're not liberal democracies as you understand them. They're, well, Sweden is referred to as a totalitarian modernist democracy, if you want to call it like that. Like, it's a virtual one-party system, and the state kind of controls everything. Your tax rate is about 65%, and it's more collectivist society, not individualistic liberal society. So Scandinavia, very different to the kind of European or the mainstream secular democracy. Why they always go to Scandinavia? Like, that's like the pinnacle of secular democracy. The biggest democracies, secular democracies, are France, England, and USA. Why not cite them for examples of harmony, interracial peace, and utopia? We're going to get to them. So, secular countries are very safer. Please go to Detroit in USA, see what is safer. 17,500 deaths per year, and the highest incarceration rate of humans in the world, beating China. So that's my secular democracy of USA, unless you want to denounce USA as not actually your secular democracy.